It's not an ideal situation, but National Grid are doing the right thing. We're facing something of a supply crunch over the next 2 winters, and if we have cold weather and there's problems with our supplies and there's difficulty importing electricity from outside the UK, we may be perilously close to blackouts. I'm not saying this to be alarmist, but we need quite rightly to look at the alternatives, and if there's more industry can do to shift its demand off-peak, particularly if it's expensive and they haven't been able to do it in the past, but the incentives are going to be there now, that could help in a very tricky situation.
But how easy is it for a big industrial user to switch their usage? I mean, quite often you're running 24/7.
Exactly, and it's going to depend very much on the business, whether that's possible or not. Many industrial processes need power 24/7, as you say, for health and safety reasons, and to avoid damage to the plant, quite apart from the product you're making in it. And therefore, for those businesses, it's not going to be practical to live without power supplies. However, for some, and we think there are some examples in steel making, in industrial gas production, some parts of the chemical sector and cement and so on, they can vary their demand to a certain extent. Of course, they don't want to disrupt the production of their goods to their clients. That would be damaging to their business. To the extent that they can keep their costs down and help with the security of supply situation, they'd be pleased to do so.
But this is pretty poor, isn't it? I mean, what sort of image does this paint to the outside world for Britain as an investment destination?
Well, we in industry have been warning about this for many years and said, look, we all need to decarbonise our energy supplies and make them cleaner and greener, and nobody has a problem with that. But we do need secure energy supplies, and without that, who is going to invest in energy-intensive or other manufacturing to help pull us out of recession?
Yeah, I mean, how many people do your members in the group employ?
In the energy-intensive sectors like steel and chemicals and so on, we're around 160 to 225,000 employed directly. But the most important thing is the supply chains that depend on those industries, and there we're talking about 800,000 people in the broader manufacturing sector. So this is absolutely key, right at the heart of our manufacturing industry.